Good morning, card community. It's RJ back with another video. So let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day. Showed off a box that I picked up a couple weeks ago at my LCS, where I had a whole bunch of these. The 1989 Phoenix Company baseball magnets. It was actually called magnetables at some point. Some of them were called the baseball magnetables. Just a whole bunch of magnets. I think there's like 160 some different players represented. I went online on the Bay and found out that if you have them in this sealed package, some of the more big name stars, you could sell for a couple bucks. So I might end up trying to unload some of the bigger names on the Bay, see what happens. I'll let you know how that goes. But this is my Mike Schmidt version. Baseball magnet. Today's random baseball item of the day. Got this in the Hobby Jumbo box. I always get a Hobby Jumbo box every year of the Topps base product. And in honor of the Dodgers winning the World Series, this is the Mookie Betts pin. If anybody has Pepino Man on their list, I know Pepino Man loves this kind of stuff. I don't know if he wants this pin, but it's sitting in a drawer of mine. I never use it, never look at it, never pay any attention to it. Be happy to send it to him, but I don't have his contact information. But the Dodgers, Mookie Betts, this is like a 2024 card, but this is a pin version of it. There you go, random baseball item of the day. Today's trivia question, as with Monday, going to talk about a long forgotten, well, not long forgotten, but a former team, former franchise. Who was the last manager to manage the St. Louis Browns? Who was the last manager of the St. Louis Browns? That's your question. What you're playing for, again, two non-baseball related cards that came in the mystery box a couple weeks ago. I have no idea who these individuals are. This is a blue Goodwin Champions card of a guy named Nikolaus Aya Maliva. Don't ask me to, tell you if I'm right or not, but that's the card. It shows him in a football uniform. I don't know who he ended up with. Sounds like he was committed to Tennessee. So he's like a high school player who is committed to, it's the rainbow blue parallel, committed to going to the University of Tennessee. The other one, autograph card of a guy named Caleb Holmesley, prospect, autograph card on a pink prism. Not sure about who he is supposed to be a prospect for. I do not recognize. It says LU, Louisiana University. I no idea who Caleb Holmesley is. But those are the two cards you're playing for. If you throw out a guess to that question, I will include my email in the description below. Send me an email. I'll put along with a repeat of that question. You'll have today and tomorrow to answer. We'll pick a winner on Sunday, all right? Good luck to everybody on that one. All right, so about 2 weeks ago, I stopped by my LCS and picked up a couple more sets that he had. Every once in a while, he'll have a couple of the TCMA sets. I noticed in my recent research of old sets that TCMA, again, TCMA depends upon how you want to spin it. It was the initials of the founders of that printing company, or they kind of said it was like the card manufacturers. So, well, it depends on who you ask, but pretty much it is the initials of the people who done it. And two interesting TCMA sets that I found. The first one from 1974, a set called the 1890 Brooklyn team. That's really all it is. Now, it's a reprint set, but I have no clue what the original card was. So, for example, I looked up the players that are featured here. None of them are Hall of Famers. In fact, very few have I even heard of Thomas Burns. Decent bio on the back, really big time bio. I like to say this, the Brooklyn Club, National League champions. They were National League champions in 1890. Colloquially, they were known as the Bridegrooms, meaning in the press and some of the fans would call them the Bridegrooms. But they were really, like all teams from the 1800s, they were simply known as the Philadelphia, the Brooklyn, the St. Louis National League team. They did not officially have these nicknames that we're so familiar with now. That was a product of the press or the fans. So, Thomas Burns, all the backgrounds are pretty much the same. Albert Bushong, Bob Carruthers. Bob Carruthers is a name I have heard in my storied histories of the past. Robert H. Clark, Hubert or Hubbert Collins, John Corkhill, looks like a big old Irishman, big old mustache, boxer kind of guy. Thomas Daly, D.L. Fouts, Michael Hughes, Thomas Lovett, W.H. McGonigal. That's an awesome Irish name. William O'Brien. There you go, another one. George Burton Pinkney. George Smith. George Stallings. Stallings, I know. Believe it or not, and he carried over into the coaching world, managing world, maybe even ownership or presidency of some of the early clubs in the National League or American League in the early days of the 1900s. So Stallings was a longtime baseball man. I think he was actually a manager of the Phillies in one of the early parts of the 1900s. And then William Terry. So that is the TCMA from 1974, a TCMA reprint. And again, I cannot find the set that this was a reprint of. So I was not able to go through the tradingcarddatabase.com. And you would think that using the names of these people, because this set, the reprint set, is listed on the tradingcarddatabase.com. So when TCMA did this, they were reprinting another set. You'd figure they would have had the other set in the tradingcarddatabase.com, the original set, but I've looked up all of these players and I cannot find it listed under the tradingcarddatabase.com. I don't know why. I don't know where to find it. I don't know what the original was called, what year it came out in, but this is the reprint. Kind of a cool little thing. The second TCMA set I got was from 1975, and it is one of many different sets produced over the years to honor, or more betterly, maybe phrased, to memorialize the 1919 Black Sox. So here we go. These are in alphabetical order. They are not numbered. Really cheap presentation on this one. Not a lot here, but on the back, TCMA 1975. It's just got the name and some basic facts about the player on the team that year. So Joe Benz, you can see he was a pitcher for the White Sox. He got into a single game with 2 innings pitched. That is the entire stat of his career with the White Sox that year. But at least they got a picture of the guy. Eddie Sykott, famously of the Black Sox, member of the scandal-ridden team. Eddie Sykott. He had a much more distinguished career in 1919. Eddie Collins, Hall of Famer. Certainly he had quite a distinguished season. Batted .319, which is actually down from his averages. Shano Collins got into 63 games that year. Dave Danforth, a pitcher, got into 15 games. Red Faber is a Hall of Fame pitcher. He had a good season, but his arm was, he had a sore arm or a bum arm, and he wasn't able to play during the series that year. That's one of the reasons the White Sox lost, mostly because Faber would have been an honest man. He would not have partaken in the fix. So with him and Dickie Kerr, it's probable the White Sox would have held on even with the cheaters doing what they did. But so Happy Felch was one of the conspirators. He was a left fielder, I believe. Oscar Emil Felch. Chick Gandil, one of the ringleaders, guy at first base. Manager Kid Gleason. Gleason was a Philadelphia Philly back in the 1800s for a brief period of time. There's famously Joe Jackson. Like to see the old S with the O and the X on the breast pocket there. Bill James. Not the statistician Bill James, obviously. He got into 5 games that year. Dickie Kerr, he was the honest pitcher who won 2 games for the Sox. Dickie Kerr. Nemo Leibold. Bird Lynn. Erskine Meyer. Meyer was a Philly at one time. I believe Erskine Meyer was a member of the 1915 pennant-winning Phillies. He only got into 16 games for the White Sox that year. R.V. McClellan. Fred McMullen, he was a utility infielder, but he, the way they filmed it, the way they portrayed it in the film version, and I never read the book 8 Men Out, so I don't know the full story, but they portrayed it as if he stumbled upon the conspirators talking, and they kind of had to let him in, even though he probably wasn't even partaking in the series much at all. He was just a utility infielder. Eddie Murphy, I love that name. Eddie Murphy. Pat Reagan. Swede Risberg, he was the other ringleader of the conspiracy. Charlie Robertson. Red Russell. Ray Schalk is a Hall of Fame catcher. He was certainly an honest man. Here's Buck Weaver, one of the people who got expelled. Weaver, I still maintain Weaver is the one guy I feel the worst for, because the only reason he got expelled or banned from baseball was that he knew about the fix but didn't say anything. He never took any money. He never agreed to participate. It's just that because he was one of the guys, they included him in the discussion about throwing the game. He refused, but he knew about it and didn't say anything. So he's the guy I feel the worst for. Roy Wilkinson. Lefty Williams, one of the pitchers, along with Sykott. And then they have some also-rans, a couple other guys, not part of the main group of players. So anyway, that is another little pickup I had. I am a big fan. As you know, RJ does collect sets. So when I see these little sets available for $20, $5, $10, I'll snag them. And I really, really enjoy building my set collection like that. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. Something quick and simple. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please consider like, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. I really do appreciate your support as I try my best to support everybody else in this great card community, all right? So come back again on Sunday for the trivia, and we got one more trivia and prize to give away on Friday, all right? Hope to see you then. Have a great week. Take care.